Hello, and you're welcome to Frontline TV, and we'll be sampling today's newspaper headlines. That is the leading story from our Nigerian tabloids. And today we're going to start off with the Punch newspaper. The leading story from the Punch newspaper is having it that 8.41 trillion naira oil theft drains economy, fuels investors down. 41 trillion naira oil theft drains economy, fuels investors' doubts. And just beneath that leading story, you will see it written in red that experts fault lack of arrest, prosecutions in 4 years, zero oil theft. And another of the red colored right up there says regulator hails lowest losses in 16 years amid reservations, and it's coming from an analyst. That is the leading story. And still from the Punch newspaper, if you take a look at the topmost part of the newspaper, it says Natasha resumes at Senate, calls Akpabio dictator. Natasha resumes at Senate, calls Akpabio dictator, and also 411% revenue rise won't stop federal government borrowing. This story is credited to the Federal Inland Revenue Service, saying that 411% revenue rise will not stop federal government from borrowing. And also CBN lowers interest rates, OPS demands credit relief. Now the leading, let me not say the leading, but the picture you can see on the Punch, the front of the Punch newspaper, is that of the daughter of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, talking about Jasmine Wike, together with his son Jordan, and they are flanked with the FCT minister, that is their father, Nyesom Wike, and his wife, Justice Eberechi Suzette Wike, during Jordan's call to bar ceremony in Abuja. That's the story of that's in front of the Punch newspaper. And also there's another story from the Punch newspaper that is it's coming from the wife of the president of the country, talking about Senator Remi Tinubu. She said 20 billion naira library fundraiser not for 2027. Now, if you take a look at the other side, just below the leading story of the Punch newspaper, it says strike. Sanu Nasu extend ultimatum. And also arms racketeering, 3 soldiers court-martialed, jailed for life. And still from the bottom part of the Punch newspaper, you have it that Lagos cop, woman killed as container crushes tricycle. And also Pengasan Nupeng rejects government's plan to sell assets. Now, those are the leading stories from the Punch newspaper. We will now move over to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper has as its leading story, wider cracks in world order amid warnings on aid cuts, unions future. That is, wider cracks in world order amid warnings on aid cuts, unions future. That is the leading story, and you see the picture of the President of the United States of America talking about Donald Trump and other world leaders that are debating on an issue. And still from the Guardian newspaper, most part of it has it that Tinubu's handling of INEC transition will define Nigeria's democracy, says Yega. Tinubu's handling of INEC transition will define Nigeria's democracy. I will still have it from the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Defamation case adjourned as Senate Natasha reach on common truce. And also the FIRS clarifies borrowing plan, confirms new tax regime for January. And then from the other little side of the front of the Guardian newspaper, you have it that high blood pressure hits 1.4 billion people at risk. High blood pressure puts 1.4 billion people at risk, the World Health Organization warns. Pengasan Nupeng warns federal government against selling JV stakes. And still from the front of the Guardian newspaper, you'll still see that concerns in Lagos APC as 4 elected female officials die in 2 months. 4 elected female officials die in 2 months. And then there's this other story with a picture of the wife of the president, which says Tinubu raises 20.4 billion naira for National Library at birthday anniversary. Benue IDPs vow to occupy FCT until normalcy returns. And also, we still have the same picture of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, together with his wife and their son Jordan, and who was just recently called to bar, together with their daughter. Now, those are the leading stories from the front of the Guardian newspaper. You're still watching Frontline TV, and it is newspaper headlines. And now we'll take a look at the Vanguard. The leading story from the Vanguard newspaper: 14 banks fully met new capital requirements, says the Central Bank of Nigeria. 14 banks fully met new capital requirements. And still, you have it from the top part of the Vanguard newspaper. Lupen Pengerson also is having the same story: kick against federal government's planned sale of oil, gas, and other assets. That is coming. That's Lupen and Pengerson. They're kicking against what the federal government is planning to do in respect to selling oil and gas assets. Still from the top part of the Vanguard newspaper: PFN to government, fix economy, end corruption, empower citizens. Also, Tinubu Atiku in fierce battle for Buhari's Northern Bloc. Davido becomes Grammy voting member for 2026 awards. And also in the part of insecurity: nursing mom abducted, 3 soldiers jailed for selling arms to terrorists. Now, if you look at the down part of the Vanguard newspaper, it has it that Natasha Okpoti-Uduaghan storms Senate office, resumes duties. And also, it has a small caption there: defamation, federal government alleges plot to scuttle Natasha's trial. Well, you get the full gist when you obtain the copy of the Vanguard newspaper. And still, the down part of the Vanguard newspaper says Tinubu seeks reform of global financial architecture. And also, First Bank set to launch services blind, physically challenged customers. That's the much we're going to take from the front of the Vanguard newspaper, which is coming to you on Frontline TV this beautiful day. All right, now we're moving on to the Leadership newspaper. The Leadership newspaper has as its leading story: employers, economists hail central bank for slashing interest rates to 27%. Still from the Leadership newspaper, you still have the same picture as the previous newspapers, showing the picture of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, talking about Nyesom Wike with his wife, daughter, and son. That is when the son was called to bar recently. And from the topmost part of the Leadership newspaper, Natasha returns to Senate, says she owes no one apology. That is coming from the senator that was suspended for 6 months. She has now returned to the Senate. Her office was unsealed yesterday, and she's here now saying she owes no one apology. Now, 3 soldiers bag life imprisonment. One gets 15 years for aiding terrorists. And still from the front of Leadership newspaper, we have it that 14 banks have cleared recapitalization hurdle. This one is coming from the president of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Cardoso. And also, oil workers reject government's plan to sell JV oil assets. And Tinubu saying Africa must end raw material exports and build factories. This one is coming from Tinubu, the president of Nigeria. Federal University Azare expels 21 students, resuscitates 4. Federal University Azare expels 21 students, resuscitates 4. And the last story from the front of the Leadership newspaper that will be taking this day is saying work harder on economic policies, insecurity, Afenifere tells the president. Now that is all from the Leadership newspaper. Moving on to the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust newspaper, the newspaper you can trust, is the Daily Trust. The leading story: unions rejects sale of oil and gas assets. Topmost part of it is also having the same story of bandits that killed a pregnant woman, others in Kwara State. Cut interest rate further, economists tells central bank. Cut interest rates further, economists tell central bank, and Remi Tinubu raises 20 billion naira for library project. Remi Tinubu raises 20 billion naira for library project, and we still have it at the bottom part of the Daily Trust newspaper. Soldiers bag life jail for selling arms to terrorists. Still having the same story. And also, policeman, 5 others killed in Lagos, Yobe road crashes. Saudi Grand Mufti dies at 82. And it's also having it that Natasha resumes at Senate after 6 months suspension. That is all from the Daily Trust, the newspaper you can trust. Well, of course, my dear viewers, there you have it. Newspaper headlines came to you from Frontline TV. We hope to bring you more as things unfold. Do keep watching and also leave your comments in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Musa Calvin is my name. Bye.
Good morning and welcome to another episode in Morning Discussion. I am Hepzibah Joseph.
And I'm Edison Jonah. Welcome.
Today we'll be talking about something we all know but sometimes forget. The world is small, while respect matters everywhere.
Yes, and it's funny how life works. The person you meet today at a bus stop or at a restaurant or even at your office, your place of work, could be your potential destiny helper tomorrow. And the world is small, and it's important that we are mindful of the way we treat people, because the way we treat them can circle back in surprising ways.
Yeah, respect is like a seed. You may not see the fruit today immediately, but one day it shows up when you least expect it.
So, we are going to tell you why respect matters today.
Respect is not just about saying good morning or please. It's about recognizing people's value, no matter their position, whether it's the cleaner in your office or the CEO.
Yes, and you know what? People never forget how you make them feel. And guess what? Especially if you make them feel bad. They might forget if you make them feel good sometimes, but if you make them feel bad, anyways, it goes both ways. I'm kidding. You may forget your words, you may forget your act of kindness to somebody or your act of displeasure rather to somebody, but they will remember it and they will remember your attitude regardless. So I've heard of stories of some people who, like disrespected somebody, and then one day maybe they are going for a job interview or something. Just boom.
We have a lot of reels about that online.
A lot. I'm sure you must have come across one or two of them in the past or even presently. So this is to say that it is important how you treat people, because you don't know where you're going to meet them. And we are not saying that you should let people step on you. That's not the point we are trying to make. Just simply respect people, talk to them kindly, and also respect.
Polite.
Yes, politely. Respect is to be reciprocated, because you might meet them years later, and they might be your boss, or they might be your in-law, or even the doctor at your office that's been assigned to treat you, to take care of you, when you're sick or something. So be mindful of how you treat people. This sounds a bit cliche, but it's true.
Respect should not be just for the familiar faces we see, like your family, your friends, but even strangers. You cannot meet someone today and you're being rude to the person, no matter how the person is looking. Sometimes someone might choose to look simple You don't even know where the person is coming from. Just meet someone by the roadside and you choose to be rude to that person. That's not good, because in this life, I believe that where someone is, the point the person is today, that's not the same point you meet the person tomorrow. If you are meeting someone at his lowest now, that doesn't mean that person will remain at that point. So we should learn to respect and value people. We shouldn't treat them based on how we look at them,
how we perceive them presently, because you don't know tomorrow. Nobody knows what the future is. So respect should go beyond, as she said, familiar faces, and it doesn't even take much for you to respect somebody. For example, greet people politely. Greet people politely, no matter their age or their status. Now, greeting, personally, I used to have not that I used to have an issue. Let me be very honest. I have an issue with greeting people, especially if I greet you and you don't respond.
Yes. Because I don't get why I will greet you today, you don't respond. Not that we had any issue or something. I'm greeting you today, you are not responding. Tomorrow,
and even if we did tell, it's greeting now. It's greeting. You should answer me. I'll not greet you. Let me be very honest. I'll not greet you again. Just that one time. It doesn't even take. It doesn't have to be twice. If I try it once and you don't answer. But I have somebody that always used to tell me that it doesn't matter, that I should keep doing it. But it's easier said than done, yes, honestly. But you should also try. So I'll just take the person's place and I'm telling you, try. It doesn't matter. If you try it twice, 3 times, and you notice that okay, the person is not responding, then maybe just back up a bit, because it doesn't even make sense. Now, this is also to you. You're not responding to people's greetings. It's not good. Why? It's not like good. That. Especially elderly people. I used to feel bad if an elderly person. Yes, and also try to listen without interrupting when someone is speaking. That is difficult, especially if you like expressing yourself. It's difficult, like when the conversation is sweet and the person is talking, especially if it gets to a point where like the person says something and you want to like maybe have something that you also want to say at that point, and you feel like if you don't say it at that moment, you forget it. It's very difficult, but it will actually be a good thing if you're able to practice listening. Maybe try as much as possible to reserve it in your head a bit. Try to remember it, so that, and then when the person is done, you can now chip in. It's difficult, but practice makes sabi. I used to say sabi. I don't say perfect because nobody's perfect. So practice makes sabi. And then also say please and thank you. Those small words go a long way. Some people don't know how to use please and thank you. Yeah, they don't know how to do it.
And the elderly ones, they feel it's not okay saying thank you or please to someone younger than you.
Yes.
Me asking you to do this thing is my right.
Yes, but because they're older than you.
This way, thank you and please soften somebody's heart.
A lot.
Like it will give the person the energy to do it.
Thank you. You get please.
I don't know why you can't tell someone you're teaching the child. They learn from
manners and how to approach somebody. I don't see what's the big deal there.
It's just something simple.
It's just something simple. Me, the way I used to do sometimes, I'll say, please don't be angry. Can you please help me? I would say it like sometimes I would be like, sorry, I beg, no vex. I'll add PG English, because especially if I've asked you to do something like more than twice for me, and then I don't want you to feel as if I'm sending you, am I your slave or am I your errand girl? Why are you sending me? So I would just be like, please, I beg, no vex, just help me with this one. And then some people, and if you do something for them, thank you. If somebody sends money to them, they'll say thanks. What's thanks?
Thank you.
Thanks? I'll say thank you or thank you very much. Even if it's 500 naira they sent to you or 100 naira, say thank you. It's something. The person took it out of their pocket. They had the right to say no, but they did say no. Appreciate people. It's very good when you appreciate people. The person will not have an issue doing it for you the next time. So let that one be, And then treat service workers kindly, waiters, cleaners, drivers. Very important. No matter your status in life, these people are human beings as well. You should treat them with respect. It doesn't matter whether you're older than them or you employ them or something. Treat them with respect.
Very important.
Very
You don't know where you meet that person one day. That person might be your savior somewhere.
Yes. I wanted to say something else, but that one's off camera.
It won't take anything from you to say, please,
Yes.
to your worker. It does not
Mhm.
matter whether you pay the person.
It doesn't matter.
We
They're
are,
human beings.
yes, we are all
Respect is reciprocal. Do me, I do you. If you disrespect me, nothing. Anyways, avoid harsh words online and also in person. Remember that there's a human being behind the screen. Sometimes when I see people giving harsh comments to
people's posts.
people's posts online, it kind of saddens me because I'm like, why? This person is a human being. This person has emotions, except when necessary.
There are some comments that paints the person black.
Yes.
Paints you black. Like
Completely.
this incident of that did that, yes, you did that. Like
Yes,
someone was saying what
yes.
took her to the man's house.
So-
Was that why
that
they brought her
kind
to school?
I don't
They're-
understand.
They're just saying that because it's not your relation. You don't know the person.
That's why.
Yes, we agree she came to school, but at that point she's dead.
She's
So
dead.
this is
There's
not,
nothing.
all these comments are not something that are
The
relevant.
family members are even going through a lot. Imagine
Yes.
they're going through the post and they're seeing that people saying such things about their daughter or their sister or their friend.
It just look
It's
like
not
the
nice.
family have failed.
I mean, even put yourself in that person's shoe. This thing can happen to anybody. My dad used to always say it can happen to anybody. Even if they found her in a club or I don't know, in a place that is like it's not that in a kind of place that when people find you there, maybe it's not a place for respected people in quotes. It doesn't matter.
It
doesn't mean that
die.
yes, it doesn't mean she deserves to die. It doesn't mean that she was not a responsible person because she was found there. Like, so all those kind of things, it's not even necessary. Be mindful of the things you say to people. Sometimes
Very important.
we can all get carried away sometimes and say some mean things, but God help us.
Amen. Respect is free, but it can open doors that money can't.
Yes.
It takes you places that
You
your money cannot buy respect.
Nah.
It can only buy fear.
Yes.
When there's a great difference between fear and respect. Respect, it has value. But when someone is scared of you,
That's
it's
different.
bad.
That one is different.
It's a different kind of.
But fear God though. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And try as much as possible. So we are not saying that you should let people step on you because you respect them. You don't want to. Respect is different, just as you said, from fear. It's different from letting people step on you, people talk to you anyhow. You respect somebody does not mean that you will let the person maltreat you, talk to you in disrespectful manner. I feel like once they begin to do something like that, that's my personal view though. I'm not the type that will say, oh, okay, well, this don't do it back. I will do it back. That is just my own, but everybody's different.
Picture of peace.
If you find that this person is disrespecting you constantly, just walk away from that friendship or whatever it is, just for your own peace of mind. It's not a do or die affair. In fact, I feel like that's even the highest step. Once the person begins to disrespect you, you sense that this to you, you know, especially if you put yourself in that person's shoe and you're like, if I'm the one that do this to this person, I actually wouldn't react this way. Although everybody has their own way of reacting to things, but then again, if it's constant, you should just walk away before it leads to physical. Yes.
Before you do something you regret.
You know. Yes.
So the truth is, this world is too small to live without respect.
Yes, and what you give out comes back to you eventually. Kindness, humility, or disrespect. What goes around comes around. Yes.
Respect is not weakness, it's wisdom, and wisdom keeps the world connected.
Yes.
That'll be all for
That's-
today.
Yes.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next time. Bye. Adios.